Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Brittany, and for today's content I thought I would do another episode of my artist trading card series. There's another swap coming up in May that I want to participate in, so I thought I would come on here and make my cards that I'm going to swap with you guys. And I think I've showed this before, but this is how I'm keeping my cards that I get in this little Traveler Company notebook card insert. So what I have here are some scraps from making books. Usually when I cut down like the pages, there's always some of these left over, and they're not always, you know, large enough for me to make artist trading cards out of. But interestingly enough, the handmade book club that I belong to, ran by Allie Manning and team, she gave us a really good challenge in the month of April, one that I was excited for, and oddly enough was thinking about like how would you go about that prior to April, because I saw something in a magazine, I think it was a Stamping Tin magazine, where someone used tins to put like this little travel doll in. I think there's a name for that. I'm not sure. It's like a little doll mouse, and they reside in a little tin, kind of like an Altoids tin. Well, anyways, I thought, well, that'd be really cool if I could do that with a book. And then April came around, and that's what Allie decided to spotlight for our book for April, was making a small lay flat book for a tin. So I was so excited for that. And when I went to go get supplies at my local Michael's store, because I didn't have any tins. I mean, I had those tins that I showed before where I got a custom tray made, a 3D printing of a custom tray so that I could put my paint in, so it could be like a travel paint palette. But I didn't have like any empty ones. And when I was at the checkout getting some supplies, I saw these cute little tins at the bookstore, because I also had to pick up my book for book club that month. And so I went down to BAM first, Books A Million, and these were at the register, and I thought, oh, those are adorable. I want to make them. And I thought, well, I've never really made a book that small before, but Allie really taught it in a way that you could make the book in any size. So what I did was these scraps that were too small to make the artist trading cards with, I actually turned them into my books for these tins. So I will show you. Here's my little traveling little book in a tin. It fits in there snugly. And for the covers, this is just origami paper that I pasted onto the first page of the book, and then this is a little image, a free image that I got, and I cut it and put it on there to kind of go along with the tin. So these are going to be tucked away in my purse with those traveling palettes that I've showed on here before. I have this little one that I got, and then this larger one. I haven't filled them up with paint yet, obviously, because I'm thinking about which paints I want to use in them. But yeah, so these scraps, while they're not large enough for artist trading cards, they were perfect for this project. So don't throw away your scraps. And then I'll just show you real quick the little Bob Ross Happy Little Mints tin book. I found this cute black and white image of Bob Ross holding a little baby raccoon. And then for the back, because I really liked the movie Paint that had Owen Wilson playing Bob Ross type character, I put that on the back for memory's sake. So these are going to be probably used on the go when my husband and I are traveling to like the national parks to hike and stuff. And like if we're in the middle of a hike or something and I see a flower or a bird, I'll probably pop this out and then sketch it real quick and then do some quick watercolors. So the other thing that I like about these are they're like the size of the calendar blocks in my journals. So I'm thinking about perhaps doing for one of them like a watercolor a day project. But if I do either of those things, I will show you guys in one of my flips that I do. So moving back onto, let me just adjust the camera here a little bit. Moving back to today's content, these are, like I said, some of those scraps that I had left over from book projects of books that I made, and I just already cut these ones down. I thought about maybe rounding the corners because this is a heavier watercolor paper, and I decided that I was going to leave that up to whoever gets these cards, if they would like to cut them or not. So that's what we're going to be working with today. And then these ones are just some leftover ones that I made on here previously that I haven't swapped yet. So this is sketch paper. I don't want to use that today. And then I think I'm going to do, because the swap does sets of 3, I think this time I'm just going to do 3 cards. Last time I did 6, but I think because I'm going to keep doing this and doing it and doing it that I'm going to pace myself a little bit and just do 3 at a time this time. And then another thing that I wanted to do while I was doing this is I got this, I think I might have shown this before, at Five Below. We have a local Five Below, which I did not know that that place had art supplies like they do. So, you know how I love sparkly things, and I scooped this up, and I haven't used it much, just on a couple projects. So I thought I would work with it today, and I swatched it out here. You can see how shiny and metallic like they are. And so that's going to be our palette. And then for my brushes, I wanted to use, let me see if I can get them without shaking the camera. Oop, there we go. I wanted to use these this brush set that I got from Five Below also. And I have used these a couple of times. They're pretty good brushes. For just a couple of dollars, I'm impressed with them. So let's use that one. And maybe this round one. And maybe this smaller round one. I don't really think we need the larger ones. So I really like them, and they weren't even $5. I think they were like $3 for the set, and there were 8 or 9 brushes. So that was really cool. And then what I'm going to do once I do some painting is go in and do some drawing details with this Sakura Pigment Micron number 5 Archival ink pen. I'm not sure what I'm going to draw or paint yet, but that's part of the fun. So this little trinket dish up here, I found this at Hallmark. It's actually part of like a diner set that they had. So I guess this is like a butter dish. You'd put your slab of butter on there, I guess. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's for little, I don't know, appetizers. I have no idea. But I use it for paint. And the reason why I like it for paint is because it has these little grooves, this basket weave type groove on it, which I feel like helps mix with the brush bristles. And then this little water dish I have over here, I got from a local salvage store. It was called 3 Lab Salvage, and unfortunately they have closed. So that's like where I used to get all my cute little things. I got my typewriter from there. I got my New York pillow from there. I mean, I loved that store, and I'm very sad that it's closed. But so those are some of the things I'm going to be working with today. And I think what I want to do is just be very loose with my paints. So I'm going to activate these first. That's my dog Snoopy, with just a water spritzer. He's probably barking because our neighbor is mowing, and he loves our neighbor. And my neighbor always gives him little treats, little milk bones. Alright, so I really love this like aqua tealish type color, turquoise. And when I do my watercolors and then I draw over them, I kind of just lay the color down on the paper very messily, and sometimes I'll even splatter it. And then I'll clean it up with the pen. So you'll get some watercolor outside of the lines, and that's intentional. I want it to look messy like that. And then I just have some leftover napkins to blot my brushes on from like a restaurant takeout meal. They always give you so many napkins, so I have an abundance of them. And then I don't want to be too particular about what I'm drawing, but I do want it to have some shape. So I will just lay some color down in a pool of water and let it go where it goes. Excuse me. All right. And then just to give you guys some updates on what's going on, this is final weeks for me. I am working towards another degree in fine arts, and I haven't declared it yet because I'm just seeing like what I want to do with it. If I want to go the education and academia route with my art, or if I'm just, you know, playing around and exploring. Jury's still out. I'm just having fun in my classes right now. But when I get done with this, with you guys, I'm going to do my final presentation for my last class that I have finals in. My essay that I was working on yesterday when I did my May bullet journal setup with you guys, I did not meet the 12-page requirement, and I knew that I probably wasn't going to because there's only so much you can say when you're reviewing so little content, and I'm not too worried about it. I feel pretty confident about it, but that one's done and in the books, so to speak. I'm really looking forward to my summer classes. I am taking an astronomy class, and this really cool like media, social media-esque type course called Selfies and Portraits. And I'm not sure what type of materials or content we're going to be learning and exploring, but I'm pretty excited about that. It just sounds interesting to me. All right, do like a little coral here. My husband and I, speaking of coral, we have this little inside joke between us because we love to watch The Walking Dead, and we liked following Rick Grimes and his son Carl, and because of his accent we always used to say coral, coral. And because it didn't sound like he was saying Carl, it sounded like he was saying coral. And it's just a little inside joke between us, but that's why I was chuckling there. Alright, we're going to let this one dry. I do want to have a little bit of shine coming through. Kind of like so you can see that she's in water. If you can't make out what I'm doing, I'm trying to do a very loose mermaid. In what's turning out to be murky water. We'll try to clean it up with some water here with some blue, sorry. And then we'll just take this and kind of build it out a little bit. Part of the reason why these colors aren't blending all that well is because I'm not loading up my paper with water, and that's because I wanted to have more control with the color, where the color fell. So we're going to let this one dry, and then we're going to go in with our micron, and you'll see how much that changes once we do that. So for this one, I think I'm just going to do, let me move this one out of the way and this one out of the way so it doesn't get splatter on it. I think I'm just going to do some splatter, and to do that, I'm just going to wet it loosely with a spritz or two, and then I think I'm going to do some purple. You really got to load the brush up for splatter. And then I'm just tapping it against another instrument brush. Then I think I want some of this reddish pink. You could also take the bristles with like your thumb and flick them, like if you go like this and flick your bristles to get it to splatter. I feel like when I do that, I lose control of the splatter, and it tends to go like all over my workspace. It goes all over me usually, and in my paints, so that's why I do the tapping. Alright, and then we'll just do, what other color do we want? Maybe we'll do some of this green. Okay, now I'm going to let that one dry and we'll come back to it, and then let's work on our third one. So leaving that green on the brush, I'm just going to do a very loose stem and leaf. And then I'm going to switch out for, we'll say, this pinkish red color and do a blossom on it. I'm not going to be too particular with my blossom. I want it to look messy. Because I'm going to clean it up with the micron. And maybe it's my lighting, but that's not looking red to me. That's looking like a orangish gold. Interesting. Okay. So then I think I'm going to do one color splatter with this, and I think I want it to be this golden yellow. Alright, that's it. That's all I'm going to do. Alright, let's see how dry some of these are. I didn't even use my little dish. See, our mermaid is a little smudged, so I'm just going to take one of these napkins and I'm going to blot any remaining wet spots. which, yeah, that will take up some of your pigment, but it'll help for it to dry quicker also. And then I'm going to go in with that pen, and we're going to work on cleaning this up a little bit. And you could use a smaller nibbed pen if you don't want to use a 5. I just like the thickness of it. And it's okay if your pen skips because your paint is still wet. I'm probably not going to go back over it, if you can see where it skipped there on the coral, because I think that that kind of adds a little bit of character. And then same thing with like the bottom of this little landscape or ocean here. I'm just going to let my nib tip, whatever, skip across it. And then for the mermaid, I'll do a rough outline, and then for the bottom of her tail, I'm going to do like a spiky, jaggedy edge to give the appearance that it is fin-like. And then I'll just do a couple opposite rows of scales on the tail. See? Alright, and then I'll just do an outline, a very rough outline of the body. I'm not going to get too creative with the face. I'm just going to put, you know, eyes and a nose and what have you, because we don't know like the distance we are from this mermaid. So who's to say? Is their face even in focus? You know, we don't know. So I'm going to leave it like that. There we have our little mermaid off in the distance. I will do some streaking through the hair also. To give the impression that it is moving in the water. Alright. So we'll let that dry a little bit more. Then I'm just going to sign it down at the bottom. Then for, let's do the splatter because it's probably the next most dry. I talked about this in my May bullet journal setup about glimmers. So because this is sparkly, like metallic, like paint, excuse me, I'm going to do a definition card. And then I'm just going to write it here. I'm not going to do it on camera right now because I want to get it right. I want to get the wording correct. So, but that's what this one is going to be. And then I'll just do my little artist signature in the bottom. And then for the flower, we're just going to, this is really cool, and I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, but if you're looking straight on to this color, it looks gray and like a rust color, but if you tilt it slightly and look at it, it looks pink and green. So that's pretty cool. Depending on the angle that you view the card, you get to see the flower in two completely different colors. I really like that. So I'm gonna do my little artist signature at the bottom. And then for this one, it still looks a little wet. I'm just gonna blot it a little bit. It took up some of that pigment. And then I'm just gonna do like some veins in the leaves. I might do like a shadow on the stem. And then how do I want my flower? Originally I was thinking of doing like a rose, an opening rose, but now I'm thinking maybe I should make the petals more like a peony or just like a very messy flower. I think I'm going to do a very messy flower because these cards, I want them to be on the messier side. That looks pretty cool. I like it. Alright, so that is what I have for you today. A very quick and easy, relaxing way to do some artist trading cards. If I add anything to any of these, it might be, I think I'm going to do a sticker on this one. I have a shell like conch that I'm thinking about putting in that negative space there. And then for this one, like I said, I'm going to look up that explanation or description of glimmers that I found the other day, and I'm going to put it here in like a dictionary type definition. So like I'll put like how to pronounce it, whether it's a noun, verb, adjective, and then I'll write the description. So, but that is what I have for you today, guys. I hope that this was relaxing for you, and I hope that you enjoyed having some time. If you got your art supplies out and did this along with me, I hope that it was relaxing for you. And stay tuned because I do have another Artist Trading Club video that's coming up for this series. If you're interested in that, it'll be different from doing 3. It'll be like a big block of them. So thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys.